everyone. Hi, welcome. On behalf of the Italian Pavilion at Expo Dubai 2020, I extend you a warm welcome. We're here at the Accademia, the space where we take place all the education and co-creation lab, and we're here with the region Emilia Romagna and the University of Ferrara in partnership with the University of Bologna, Reggio Emilia, Parma, and Modena. So, as you know, one of the main topics of Expo 2020 Dubai is the sustainability. So today we are here to discover more about this topic, thanks to the Professor Donato Vincenzi of the University of Ferrara, because they have an interesting project about an immersive, serious game about smart grid and local energy community. So I let you the stage, and thank you to be here today.
Thank you very much. Thanks to all of you for being here and for your attention. What I'm going to introduce you is a serious game funded by the Emilia Romagna region and developed jointly by the University of Bologna, University of Modena and Reggio Emilia, University of Parma, and finally University of Ferrara. Basically, I am Donato Vincenzi. I am an associate professor at the University of Ferrara in experimental physics, and I work in the field of solar energy. Together with my colleagues of the other university, we were looking for a way to introduce a complex topic such as the management of smart grids, of electricity grids, and we found that the realization of a game was a good and reliable way to present this topic to citizens, to students, and to young boys and girls. So the energy grid is a really complex topic which involves different entities, which are generation units, which are storage units, and the growth of renewable energies such as wind energy or solar panels, photovoltaic panels, changed completely the paradigm of the management of the network, because weather variation can introduce very fast variation in the production profile of the grid. And this has to be managed in a very complex way by the manager of the electric network, by supplying extra energy with a standard power station, which could be gas station, which could be oil station or nuclear plants. And every one of them has some peculiarities for which they can't be switched on and off very fast. So in this environment, the accumulation of energy has covered a very important role. We don't have at present a technology which allows to store huge amount of energy. We can store energies for months or for years. Energy somehow, energy is like fish. I mean, either you use it or you throw it away. And the accumulation of energy is a really challenging topic, especially for, let's say, short and medium-term scale. Accumulation can be done either with batteries, in particular for a very small time scale, or with hydrogen, which is a vector which can store energy into form of chemical bonds, which can be later used for combustion, so it burns like a fuel, or for the electricity production through fuel cells, which convert this electrochemical energy into electricity. Let's come to the game. The gamification is a sort of a new word which states that the game is a very effective way to give to the audience some concepts, some basic concepts on a topic. and it allows you to stay focused on that topic for a time which could be like half an hour, a quarter of hour, or 1 hour, in which you gain some some concepts that you can, in case deepen with further studies. The game has as a environment a town which embeds all the elements of a new modern town. We called it Go Green Town, and the game is basically a goose gameplay, so you can move your piece along this track, and sometimes you got on some boxes in which you are asked to answer to a specific question. And these specific questions explain a situation in which the city can or the network can be, so like a blackout or like freezing temperature, and they give you some questions about how would you manage this situation. Once you choose your answer, you are given get the correct answer, so you know if it's wrong or if it's correct. And here there will be the possibility to add some extra explanation done by specialists coming from our universities, so you can have a deeper focus on that specific topic with a short video, which could be like 1 minute, 2 minutes. So you have this possibility to have a direct feedback from the specialist of these topics. We developed this game in collaboration with a famous architect, a famous Italian architect, which placed all the elements of the animation, and of course the piece you move along the track is an Italian car, because and it's a Fiat 500 Spiaggina, which is a very particular car you can move along the track. So here we will see a demo of this game. I will comment you some parts of this demo game. The full game, multiplayer game, will be online in about 1 month from now, and it will be available both in Italian and in English for foreign universities or foreign people and for Italian people. So the game, I beg your pardon, I put my tablet here. The game starts with a presentation screen. We can skip the intro now, and you have on your left the aim of the game, which explains you what is the topic of the game and what is what you have to do in order to play this game. So Go Green Town is an online board game, and you can move your piece answering to specific questions on the management of electric or energy networks. You will be given the correct answer, and you will get scores about the answers you give, and at the end you will have a feedback about how sustainable is the choice you did. So we can go back now. We have here a virtual tour of the track, which is a video along the whole track presenting you the elements of this Go Green Town, which is the solar power plant, which produces clean energy but has the issue like wind turbine of the intrinsic variability of renewable energies. And as you go on, there are conventional power plants, which could be thermoelectric power plants or nuclear power plants. Then you get to the user, which is the city itself, which is a place where in general energy is consumed and very little is produced. We have industries which consume a lot of energy, and usually, again, they consume much more energy than they produce. And we get to the storage. In this case, we set hydrogen storage, which is the possibility to accumulate part of this energy for further use, which could be mobility or which could be the electric generation. We have the residential district, in which new homes are somehow transformed from consumer to prosumer, which means producer and consumer. So solar panels on the roof of the homes can produce energy, and new homes can produce a reasonable amount of energy, a reasonable percentage of the energy they use throughout the year. Of course, depending on the location of the home itself. We can go back from now. And with the Rubik cube, we can start the game. So there will be a random selection of a number, which in this case is a roulette, but it's okay. And okay, we got the number 3. So the piece will move to the box number 3. You can play Go. And here a situation is described. We have a downtown, we have a city in which suddenly, because of a storm, the power lines from which the energy is imported from abroad are broken. So there is a sudden change in the incoming power profile. So when this appears in United States, it happened in 2002, 2003, and in Italy in 2003. There is a general blackout. That means that all the network goes away, and the problem is how to restart the network, because generators have to be somehow synchronized between them. So we need someone to start the beat, and then all the other generators have to synchronize with the first one. The problem is that we have also consumers, which can start to drain energy. And maybe the energy they drain is too much for the energy produced by the first one that generates the beat. So that has been a quite complex situation, which led Italy to a blackout of 3 days. And in United States, it lasted to about 3 days. So it's a very complex situation to be restarted, and there is a precise sequence of things that has to be done in order to restart the complete network. If we go down, we have a proposal of 2 answers. One is a battery. We need to have some sort of a storage. So a battery starts a diesel generator, which gives the energy to start a small power plant. And the power plants that consume less energy are hydropower. So usually the hydropower station is the first one that starts the generation. Then larger generators, such as thermoelectric stations, synchronize on the first power generated by the hydro station, and then this intermediate station give enough power to synchronize the largest power stations. Another possibility is that you start a small gas turbine used to provide the energy in the key transmission line, and then you synchronize all the power station with this first power generated by the small gas turbine. The correct answer is the first one, actually. If we click on the first one, we are given this is the correct answer. We are given an explanation for this correct answer, and there will be also the link to a focusing made by one of the professors of our universities. This situation is called black start, when you don't have electricity at all and you have to start the beat of your system. And if we click to next, we are awarded with 1 or 2 extra points, so we can proceed from, wait a second, okay, from number 3 we proceeded to number 4, and we can play again, so we can have a dice roll, and with our roulette we are given another number. which will move us on special boxes or normal boxes. In normal boxes, simply you get there and you have to replay. Another situation which is nowadays even more common is the charging of electric vehicles. We are used to know that electric vehicles take a lot of time to be charged, and it's very interesting to understand how is the energy, the power we feed into the car when we fill a gasoline-powered car. To fill the tank of the power car probably takes 1 minute. To fill the battery of an electric car, it takes hours. So usually charging stations are 22 kilowatt, at least in Europe they are 22 kilowatt. There are even larger ones, but the standard one is 22 kilowatt. What is the power of your refueling station with gasoline? Of course, much more, because you can fuel your car with much more in much less time. And here we have two possibilities. One is, if we go down, one is 190 kilowatt, so about, let's say, 8 times the power fed by standard electric charging station, or 190,000 kilowatts, which is a huge amount. And actually, the correct answer is the second one. So the energy you can store in electrochemical bonds is huge. And this is why hydrogen storage is very interesting, because there is a way to store energy in a very effective way and to store a huge amount of energy. Batteries are very good, but they have a kinetic that takes a lot of time to be filled, and the better is that you drain the energy very slow. Otherwise, the battery will die very soon. So basically, these are the first two steps of this game. We will not go through the whole game, but the idea is to give to the students and to young boys and girls the possibility to play with this game and learn some curiosities, some secrets on how to manage the network and what are the numbers behind the management of an electric network. So this game will be online as a multiplayer game in about 1 month. The website is already online, and there will be available also the videos of the professor of the university giving further explanations on that specific topic. So what I would like to introduce you now is a second project which has been developed by the University of Ferrara in collaboration with a number of companies in the northern region of Ferrara. It will take a couple of minutes, and it's a very challenging project which was born exactly here in the Emirates, because we developed here it is. We developed facades, so glasses, that could produce energy, and the material of these glasses was basically modified plastics. They could be either transparent or colored. And we took these samples to Khalifa city, which is not far from here, proposing them to integrate them into an hospital. And they liked the project very much, but they told us, look, plastic is not going to work here in the desert. I mean, there is dust, there is sand that will scratch the windows, and that's not going to work. So either you develop it on glass, either that's not going to be feasible here. And well, as a researcher, our answer was it can't be developed on glass, because I mean these molecules can't be blended in glass, which melts at very high temperature. So what has been developed by our research group in the last 5-6 years has been a formula in order to integrate a thin film of plastic between 2 sheets of glass, which is called laminated glass, which is the one you have on the windscreen of the cars. Nothing very special. And this is a glass that can convert a portion of the spectrum of light, or a portion of the colors coming from the sun, in particular the ultraviolet light, which is not used unless you want to tan, but which is not used for the vision, and they convert the UV portion of the spectrum into light. This light is trapped between these two glasses and traveled through the edges of the slab, where this concentrated light is converted by photovoltaic cells. So you can have transparent glasses very large in size, which are transparent or partially transparent. They could be also brown, and they produce a little bit amount of energy. Of course, they can't be compared with the standard solar panel, which are opaque. If you don't absorb light, you can't convert it. So we absorb a little portion of light and we can convert it into electricity. And the target is the integration of this technology into skyscrapers, where you have a huge facade which now are, let's say, sort of a sink for energy instead of being something that can help you to produce energy. This technology has been developed within the University of Ferrara, and has been certified during the last 2 years, and is about to be presented to the market. So we hope this research project will be somehow a way to transform one of the key elements of the Go Green Town, which was the downtown, into an element that also produces energy, not just is a consumer of it. In the Go Green Town, we had another element which was extremely interesting, which was the energy storage, and in particular the storage into hydrogen. I would like to introduce you a colleague from the University of Modena and Reggio Emilia, Professor Marcello Romagnoli, which is an expert in this field, which will introduce his university and the research carried out by his university. Marcello, good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon. Sorry for my voice. I'm Marcello Romagnoli, professor at the University of Modena Emilia in material science. In this short video, then you will see my work. I show you the activities of the University of Modena Emilia. We are in north of Italy, an example of a university in two cities. For us, the interaction with the industry is very important. We work in an area. Do you listen me? Yes. Okay. We work in an area with a strong industrial density, so the interaction with the industry is fundamental. And so in this video, you will see some example of activities that we have carried out to create knowledge about hydrogen for the companies, and to create connection between industries and research. And the interdisciplinarity is another important key point, another important aspect in our work. We have several research groups where experts in different areas work together to solve problems related to the use and production of hydrogen. So not only engineers, physics, chemists, but also from humanistic and economic area. This interaction allows us to have a better overview of the problem, so we hope to find also better solution. We are creating an hydrogen research center together with 20 other big companies just to create a hydrogen valley in our region. Finally, we participate in several national and European projects. In the video, we have two examples, Mamma Mia, on the industrial production of fuel cell, and FCHGO, another project, European project, that have produced training courses and games for school that have the aim to explain energy, its transformation, and the use of the hydrogen. Thank you very much.
Thank to Marcello Romagnoli for the presentation of the activities on energy of the University of Modena Reggio Emilia. And then I will conclude this presentation with the link to a colleague and a dear friend of the University of Ferrara, which is Professor Michele Bottarelli, which is which is going to show us a laboratory which has been developed in Ferrara in the framework of a European project collaboration, and which introduces some elements, some new elements, actually new elements of in the residential market in order to exploit better the heat pumps, which are equipment which can produce heat air or hot air or hot water, and cold air and cold water. And one of the key point of the Go Green Town was the situation in which there was a freezing winter, and in particular these elements that can be used to retrieve energy even from heat pumps, even in case of freezing environment. So that's very interesting in order to expand the usability of this equipment. Thanks, Michele.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Everybody. I'm Michele Bottarelli from University of Ferrara, and I'm an associate professor about applied physics. My topics are related to the heat transfer, some energy, storage energy, especially heat storage energy. And I'm going to present you the test field that we have installed here about the possibility to exploit renewable energies and phase change material to store thermal energy and to exploit better to increase the performance of a heat pump for air conditioning and of a small room. This project is an European project, an H2020 project with several partners. UNIFE, my university, is a leader of a work package, especially related to the installation of a geothermal system to store thermal energy and to be exploited later when the temperature of the air is not suitable for the heat pump. In this case, the project, the name of this project is IDS. I'll change the webcam. So you should see what is the poster of the project with 14 partners. Every partner has a specific task. But what we have installed here is an air conditioning system where a heat pump and an artificial intelligence manage all thermal sources that are available at the footprint of a building. In this case, for example, we have photovoltaic panel, hybrid photovoltaic panel with a solar concentrator. But on the back of this commercial panel, for example, there are heat exchanger that are able to be used to extract heat to store in this tank. Inside this tank, there are phase change material, and all the system is inside this container, where advanced heat pump with a primary and secondary loop manage all thermal sources. In this case, you can see here the heat pump, two primary tanks, one for the user, one for the thermal sources. Here inside there is the artificial intelligence, and all these proportional valves are managed by the AI to maximize the performance of the heat pump. In terms of thermal sources, here we have installed in the ground 3 different lines of geothermal panel, very shallow geothermal heat exchanger. 3 lines because the first one is backfilled only just with simply sand, and the other 2 that are here on the back of the ground of the container. One is backfilled with sand and granules. Inside granules is absorbed paraffins to increase the energy, the possibility to store energy, therefore underground thermal energy storage. And the last one is are installed containers where inside are filled with hydrate salts. In both cases of paraffins and tube and hydrate salts, we select two different melting points to support the work of the heat pump during the winter time. So we use a low melting point around 8 degrees Celsius. And for summer application, therefore, the melting point is higher, is 27. Here you can see, for example, our flat panel that are used as a ground heat exchanger. They are installed 2.5 meters deep in the soil, but backfilled with sand. Here you can see, for example, the sand with the granules. These are the granules. And here is the tube that are installed in the trench of where is installed also the ground heat exchanger. Take into account that the trench of where these ground heat exchanger are installed is very narrow, only just 40 centimeters, and the depth is around 2 meters, 2.5 meters. And this exchanger is able to reach a very high thermal power per unit meter of trench. But inside the installation, inside the building, on the back, there is installed a radiant floor where the previous tile are put in the floor. This tile has inside, again, phase change material, two different, again, for summer and winter period. And so with this system, we are able to maximize this energy storage during, for example, this beautiful sunny day, to increase the temperature of the ground and all the phase change material, and then to use this energy during the night time, where when the temperature is very low. At the moment, for example, here in my town, here we are in Ferrara, during the night is -4, but during the day, for example, is +10 Celsius degree. So it's very useful to store the energy, to produce electricity, to store thermal energy for later application, and so on. This project is a project that started in 2019, and we had several problems due to the COVID issues. But in any case, we were able to achieve performance of the heat pump around 6, 5.5, 6 of coefficient of performance of the heat pump. And this is only just the small plant, because at the moment we are installed a larger plant directly in the university with, in this case, the heat pump is around 5 kilowatts, but in the new case, the larger case is 30 kilowatts. But it's the same, is very similar. So this is a first prototype of the whole system. I think that is all, Donato.
Michele, for your connection and your explanation. Thank you very much, and my compliments. So, as you have seen, there are many ways to store energy, either into electrochemical bonds, such as the approach explained by Professor Marcello Romagnoli, or into thermal energy, as the approach explained by Professor Bottarelli. So I think we got to the end of this presentation.
Thank you so much for being here with us today, and for the contribution that you are having on the smart energy sector, and also the contribution that you have on the construction of a better future for all of us. So thank you so much, and thank you so much for being here. A special thanks to the region of Emilia Romagna. And that's the end. So thank you so much for following us. Stay tuned and ciao a tutti.